I think that what we need to do, and some mistakes will be made, by the way. Some mistakes will be made along the way. That's good, because at least some decisions are being made along the way. And we'll find the mistakes, we'll fix them.
All these revolutionary policies, they're just ways to bring social change to this country. I remember in one of Steve Jobs' talks, he says, there were mistakes being made, but there are also a lot of decisions being made. If you don't make mistakes, you're never going to learn. I believe here in China, the Chinese government, they did make a lot of mistakes, but they made more learning. You know, their track records for success are way more than failure. You know what? I really think many other countries can also take the same approach like this. There are a lot of social problems in this world. Okay, you have drug abuse, gun control, you have poverty, many social problems. How to bring changes? The government needs to do something. We cannot just rely on freedom to change everything. Freedom is nice, but freedom has price. You enjoy the freedom of not wearing a mask, then you lose the freedom of staying healthy. However, as compared with many Westerners that are asking China to topple their government, I don't ask anyone in the West to topple their government. I'm not asking if you are a Western democracy, you should adapt communism, you should adapt our version of socialism. I just tell you, there is another possibility, there is another option of managing a country to bring social changes. Would you like that? If you think that is going to work, you can try that. If you still like your style of freedom and democracy, you can keep that. Let me touch upon a few social problems in America. The first problem is gun control. It seems that in most places in America, people can have guns, all right? I have customers and they actually told me they have guns in their house. You know, it's like they will feel scared without a gun. But let me just give you another possibility. What if the government, overnight, they issue this one law? They say it's illegal to hold a gun as a civilian. And everybody has to give out their gun, you know, to get all their guns confiscated. I know that's gonna be kind of impossible because maybe when the police are asking for the guns, those civilians, they will try to kill the police. And that's gonna be another tragedy. I'm just suggesting this. I mean, what if you made owning guns illegal? Maybe that is going to be the real effective solution to gun abuse. We cannot assume everybody just to be rational beings. People are emotional. It's like if I have a fight with my neighbor, or even with my best friend or my spouse, people can lose control. People can slap each other, but if they have a gun, they may shoot each other. They're really gonna use their guns to protect themselves? No, they're also gonna use guns to hurt other people, to retaliate against others. In China, it is 100% illegal to hold a gun. Even for the police, they cannot just carry a gun every day like their daily tool. They have to apply to get guns. They can only use guns for public service. If they face serious safety threat when they are practicing their service. Another social problem that America has is racist hate crime and racist abuse. Last year, we had this world shocking news, the murdering of George Floyd. And there were Black Lives Matter movement implemented everywhere in the world. And some people get killed in this movement and this demonstration. Police got killed, the demonstrators got killed, like more people die because of just one person died. Okay. Here in China, we don't need to lead these kind of demonstrations to solve social problems like that. We rely on the government to do that. I know the people in the West have the freedom to demonstrate, but to demonstrate doesn't solve everything. On the one hand, you are blaming the government because they are weak. And on the other hand, you want them to be weak. You don't want them to be too powerful because you don't want them to take away your freedom. So it's very contradictory. Think about that. If you want a strong government, if you want a capable government, you should give them power. You cannot just have both of the two worlds. And the fourth issue that I want to talk about America is the high college education costs. I have friends in America. They tell me their college education is very expensive. But here in China, the college education is very cheap. I got my college education at the cost of like 600 or like 700 US dollars per year. Even you go to one of the top universities here in China, you don't pay more than 1,000 US dollars per year. Why? Why is college education so cheap in China? Because the colleges, they are sort of run by the state, or at least subsidized by the government. The government is doing really good things here in China. They're really doing their job. How do you bring down the college education cost? You cannot just go out there to convince those decision makers in the universities. Okay, they would never listen to you. We need the government to do that for us. The point that I really want to make here is you cannot let money kidnap the destiny of a country. We should let somebody that's more rightful, that's more sensible, to make sure this country is going towards on the right track. We cannot just rely on money, rely on freedom. That is the sort of socialism I want to talk about. I know a lot of people, they're saying, hey, in China, it's not real socialism. It's different from what I read on the books. But we really have a certain level of socialism. And we call this socialism with Chinese characteristics. We don't care if it's capitalist, or socialist. We just care if it works. If it works, then we use it. If it doesn't work, then we stop it, okay? I don't know why there's so many people that are just so obsessed with this idea of socialism and capitalism. Can't you see that what's working and what's not? Can't we just focus more on what's effective and what's bullshit? Instead of calling these new changes in the year of 2021 Cultural Revolution, I would prefer the government to issue more policies like that. Let me give you some examples, okay? Here in China, people share their food, right? They just sit down together, they share their food, they use chopsticks, they use spoons, and even some people, they're taking the food for you. They stick their chopsticks to their mouth, and they go again to get some food for you. That is considered very hospitable and very polite, very caring, or even loving, but it's not going to do good to the people's health. It's going to help the disease spread. I don't like that kind of practice, especially when people go out to eat hot pot, when like 5 people, 6 people to 10 people, they're using their chopsticks to swim in a big hot pot full of boiling water. It's ridiculous. They will exchange their saliva, and they will exchange disease and virus. I don't like that practice, and I hope the government will one day implement a policy, a ban on that style of shared dining. Of course, within a family, I think people should be able to share their food, especially between the spouses. They should be able to share their food because they share saliva anyway, right? But for the sake of health, I really think individual dining is going to be a lot more healthy and conducive to people's well-being. And the second thing that I want our government to crack down on is expensive bride prices and dowry. In some provinces in China, in order to marry a girl, you need to pay a lot of money to the parents of the girl. In my hometown, which is infamous for doing this, if I want to marry a girl in my hometown, I need to pay 200,000 RMB to 500,000 RMB. That's approximately 40,000 US dollars to 80,000 US dollars. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous number. It's being held as a family tradition. And I really hate this kind of tradition. It's like kidnapping. I call this kidnapping. You pay a lot of money and you get a girl. Shouldn't we focus on love? Shouldn't we care more about if this pair of lovebirds will be happy together? Don't we have better use for this, a lot of money? Shouldn't we just go buy a house? Shouldn't we use that same money to invest in more valuable assets? And I think there should be a ban on something like that. They should ban on expensive bride prices, and dowry. I mean, these are just two examples that I think could be improved by the country, by the government. There are many other social changes I think can take place in this country. We cannot just rely on everyone just to suddenly realize the importance of improving doing something. You know, it can never happen. You go to India, you have this sophisticated, rigid caste system. How do you rid of that? How do you put an end to that? You're going to rely on people's freedom to do that? I mean, people cannot change their destiny because of their birth, and that's really terrible. I feel very sad for a lot of people in India. I hope that your government can do something like our government. Do something about that. There certainly should be a certain level of upward mobility. Otherwise, this society, they cannot evolve. So a lot of these new policies issued here in China are called cultural revolution by some Westerners. I call that evolution. And I know Serpent call that devolution. Okay, maybe this is pretty much what I want to say today. I really think that what we are having right now is not a cultural revolution. On the contrary, we are having a progressive evolution. And we think we will have a better future because we have an effective government, because we have a population that is so much well disciplined and follow common sense. The people and government here collaborate with each other to make this country better. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate your attention and comments of any kind. Enjoy your day.